Get on me old booties! How's it going, guys? Today we've got a lesson for Black Cow by Steely Dan. There's quite a few arrangements for this already on YouTube, but they all differ a little bit. So this is my interpretation, which is a little bit different again. So without further ado, let's jump in and check it out. So the song starts with this little hammer on from A to C, fret 17 to fret 20. Okay, and it does that twice. Then it drops down to this chord here, okay, which is going to be this. Now the root note of the chord is actually a C, so technically this is like a C dominant, 9, a 13, okay, and then you're back to the octave. So, so that's the voicing. C is the root note, so C dominant with a 9 and a 13 there, okay. Then we're into the actual groove of the song. So it starts off like this. So, this little shape, again our root note is still on C, so if we look at the chord chart, this is where we are. So we're actually playing a C9 chord. So we play 8, 7, 8, 7, 8. That'd be a C dominant 9, a bit like this voicing, you might know this one. The James Brown chord. Okay, so that's the C dominant 9 chord. So it's like doing this, but we're doing it up here. So we've got fret 8, 7, 8. I'm going to use my third, middle and pinky because I'm going to put the root note in here. So that's from a C dominant 9 chord. Okay, so we're going to slide up, 2, 3, slide root, slide up, 2, okay, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. Okay. Then we're going to hit this A7 sharp 5. So A7, A dominant would be like this. Sharp 5th is this note. So I'm just going to play the chord with the open A string here rather than voicing it like this. So we're going to go first time. And then the whole pattern again. So slide with the root, slide, 2, 3, 4, 1. So you want to practice the transition here. So we're just going to do a slide, 2, 3, 4. Go into the next chord. So I recommend that you try practice that transition. Slide to A7 sharp 5. Then on to our next chord, C over D. Okay, so we've got, if you think of this chord, C major, and we're going to put, basically take those notes, from C major chord, put D in the bass. So it's just barring straight across fret 5. So we've done the slide on here, to A7 sharp 5, C with the D in the bass, E7 sharp 9. Sure some of you will know as the Hendrix chords. So 7, 6, 7, 8. You've got a dominant chord there, sharp 9 on top. Then to this lovely E flat major 9 voicing. So okay. So let's slide the riff. Then with the root, slide, whole pattern again. Slide with the root, A7 sharp 5. C over D, E7 sharp 9, E flat major 9, back to the main riff. Use these fingers though. Again, slide with the root, then sharp 5, C with a D in the bass, E7 sharp 9, E flat major 9. Then this time we're going to go to D with E in the bass. So we've got 2 bars of this D with E in the bass. Okay. So what I suggest you work on is going from this riff to the A sharp 5 to C with D in the bass. That's really the key. Getting that transition, then everything else should fall into place. First time, it stops on the E major 9. Then on the repeat, the second time round, it continues from the E major 9, E flat major 9, and goes to D with E in the bass. Okay, so let's take a whole look at this verse. So we're going to start off with slide, then with the root, again, slide with the root, dominant, C with D in the bass, E7 sharp 9, first time just a bar of E flat major 9, back to the riff, 3, 4, riff, with the root, whole pattern again, so slide, with the root, slide, chords, C with D in the bass, E7 sharp 9, E flat major 9. This time we're going to put D with E in the bass. So that's your verse, fairly straightforward. Next section is where it's going to get a bit more complicated. So have a look in the second section here. We've got a lot of slash chords. Now what basically seems to be happening is the guitar seems to be playing these small little triads on the top strings. So first chord is A major 7. We're just going to play this little triad here. So you might almost think of it being like a C sharp minor triad, but the bass is playing A. Then the triad next we're going to play is like a little D major triad, so like from this chord. Again, the bass is actually playing an A, so you're actually getting this D with an A in the bass. So we've got an A major 7, D with A in the bass, then we're going to go up to E minor. Now this time the bass is going to play D in the bass, back to A major 7. So we get this, A major 7, D, E minor, back to A major 7. And then on beat 4 of that bar you're going to get a D shape. So bear in mind we've got different bass notes there. So when I say D, it's actually D with A in the bass, E minor with D in the bass, A major 7, D with G in the bass. Let me play this first 4 bars of the chorus. 3, 4. Up to D major, A in the bass, E minor, back to A major 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then D flat minor with G flat in the bass. Basically back to this shape again, but we're going to put this note in G flat. And then we're going to do this little, this note's going to come off. And that's going to leave us with E major with a G flat in the bass still. So we're going to go, okay. Then here's the kind of complicated bit. So here we're going to go, so let's check out these 2 sets of chords here. We've got D flat minor with E in the bass. So I think on the track you can even just, to be honest with you, you can even just play this voicing here. Doesn't sound like the G sharp's been played. So if you want you can play the E. If you're struggling to play that voicing, this is the beauty of this arrangement and these voicings. It's actually pretty easy to play. We've got some complicated chords, but if we just play the triads, it's fairly straightforward. So D flat minor to E flat 7 sharp 9. So that's a Hendrix chord again, but on fret 6. And the rhythm here is 1, 2, and 3, 4. So chord on 1 and then the chord on 2 and. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. That's the next 2 chords. D with E in the bass. Again, if you want, you can just play the D triad. And then we've got this D flat minor 7 sharp 5. So if you think about this chord, D flat minor 7, the sharp 5 is this note. Okay, so we can just take the 5th out. The 5th is kind of disposable. So we end up with 4, miss the string, 4, 5, 5. So So we've gone from D with E in the bass. So you can play it like that. If you don't want to play the root note, that's fine. I play the root note normally, just gives it a bit more girth, okay? So we're going to go from the bar before, D flat minor with E in the bass. Okay, so there, Hendrix, D with E, D flat minor, sharp minor 7, sharp 5. God, it's a lot of mouthful of words. So let's go play those 2 bars again. The last 2 bars we're just playing 3, 4, 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4. So let's try that one more time. 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4. So I'm going to go slowly from the top of the chorus here. So starting on the triad here, A major 7, 3, 4, E minor, back to A major 7 on beat 4, and then 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4. Then that's on Big Black Cow. I can't sing. Big Black Cow. So that's the kind of key lyrics from the chorus, right? The song's called Black Cow and it says Big Black Cow, and we hit these chords. Big Black Cow. So we got G flat minor 7, E dominant 7, D major 7. Let's go from the 2 bars before it. So D flat with E in the bass, Hendrix, D over E, D flat minor 7 sharp 5, and then. Alright, let's try that one more time, those 3 bars. 3, 4. Okay, and then you're home and dry. C with D in the bass, and it kind of goes. Up to E flat with F in the bass. Kind of goes to that syncopated offbeat kind of reggae thing. So C, triad, D in the bass, E flat triad with F in the bass. So let's start from the top of the chorus. 3, 4, A major 7, D, E minor, back, beat 4, 4, then 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4, Big Black Cow, thank it, slash chord, stay there, upper minor 3rd, so, and then to transition back into the verse, so we're going back to this riff, right? Okay, so it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that's where you get the. There's a little chromatic lead in. So if we're going. So we're going to go. So fret 8. All this note's on fret 8. 9, slide. I'll go from the C over D. Up to E flat with F in the bass. And then the chromatic. Hope you enjoyed today's lesson on Black Cow by Steely Dan. As always, don't forget to smash the subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications, all that good stuff. Until next time, see you again, me old booties.